What's on, where, and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. NBS Talk Nelson.
At NBS, we believe in banking for life. For over 160 years, we've been a trusted banking provider for generations of locals like you. We know our clients personally and build long-term relationships with them, offering flexibility by giving our staff freedom to make quick decisions to put them first. Experience banking for life with NBS.
The Mako Rugby Roundup.
Welcome to the Mako Rugby Roundup. I'm Chris Butler, and welcome back to Les Edwards. Nice to see you here, mate.
Yeah, thank you, and great to have the college boys with us.
Absolutely. We're thrilled to bring you all things rugby in the top of the South. Today, our special guests are Mark Cochrane and Harrison Inch from Nelson College. Great to have you here, guys. And
Thank you.
got your colours on. Nice to see.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, very nice.
In this episode, we will cover all things rugby, first 15 rugby, senior women's and senior men's Tasman Trophy, international rugby as well, and of course what's happening with the first 15. Before that, big shout out to our venue sponsor, the Turf Hotel, Main Road, Stoke. Thank you to Stan and the team. On this weekend, Thursday night, jam night between 8 and 11. Friday, it's Take Me Out, 9 till 8. And Saturday, Gentle Giant, 9 till 8. And on Sunday, the meat raffle has gone back up to $2,500. So good feed on Sunday night. Really pleased to welcome. Now, you don't call yourself Master of Rugby. You're not claiming that one. But Master in Charge of Rugby at Nelson College, Mark Cochrane, and also with him, the captain of the first 15, which is Harrison Inch.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice to have you here, guys. And on a bit of a high at the moment because you just come off the back of the 98th quadrangular tournament. How's that for the history? And came out on top. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a great experience. Yeah.
I bet it was. Tell us about how you thought it all went, Harrison. Obviously, you'd be very pleased, but that first win against Wellington, you must have been pretty chuffed.
Yes. Yeah. Going into that game, we were pretty fired up. Obviously home quad. They're top of the table up in Wellington, so we were going in guns blazing and obviously put on a good performance to get a good win. So the boys were pretty pumped, and then obviously to go into the game against Christ College on Thursday. Quick turnaround, play Tuesday and then play Thursday. Bodies were pretty sore in that, but another good performance. So
yeah, and great to see it on Sky. I mean, that was just amazing. And you know, tradition on television, watching the embankment go down to the end of the goal by Rutherford House and ready to do the haka. So that was just great to see the tradition still follow. And I thought for most of that final, actually, Christ College were actually in the game, weren't they? And it's great battles over the years with them, but you tend to pull away in the end. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, they had a good game against Wanganui on the Tuesday, and then coming into that Thursday game, it was neck and neck half time. It was all go, and so they really had us bailed up, but we managed to pull away in the end. But it was a good fight.
I do have a question towards the end. I can't remember if it was that game or the Wellington game. Where did the drop goal come from? Was it just over halfway?
Yeah. I was just a bit off the cuff, really, and chucked it on the right boot and hoped it had the legs to dribble over.
Because you had quite a bit of a lead, didn't you?
Yes.
By that time?
Yeah, we were up by a few points, but we'd practice it during the week. And
had you?
Yeah, it's one of our options, so gave it a nudge and
thought, why not?
If
there's a chance, may as well do it now.
Exactly.
And they've got the goods. It was fantastic. Well done. Okay, well, we're going to talk to you more further in the podcast, but before we do, let's get into first 15 rugby, Les, in round 6.
Yeah, so thanks, mate. As Harry alludes to, it was a really successful quadrangular tournament, big crowds there both days, and as you say, on Sky. Tuesday, Christ College 31 beat Whanganui Collegiate 10 and Nelson College 47 beat Wellington College 0. And I don't think anyone in their right mind would have predicted mark a scoreline like 47-0, would they, given the traditional rivalry that these two teams have?
Yeah, no, definitely not. They were last year's quad champions. And they were, they bring just an entourage just about as big as their team. Boys like Nehemiah Tialata and Piri Wipu coaching them, and they're a really well organised team. But our boys just didn't give them a shot for the game, which was it was amazing to watch. No one predicted it. So
it was awesome to see, and I watched it end on, which I like to do sometimes, and I thought, Harry, that you really ran the show very, very nicely. What stands out to me in the way you play is you square things up very, very quickly. I don't know if you're coached to do that or it's natural, but you certainly, by squaring up as quickly as you do, you give the outside back so much width. Is that something that is natural to you?
Yeah. Obviously, we practice that, and that comes into the game. So try and give the outsides a bit of ball, and they can play with it. So
right, and then in the final, Nelson College 53 beat Christ College 35.
Yeah, what a score!
And it was an amazing result. It also doubled as a Miles Toyota Premiership points match. So congratulations on taking the points there as well. So top of the table in the Miles Toyota Championship. Now, Harry, your thoughts basically on your teammates. This is where I want to get to, because if we look at your side, it's very, very impressive. And I'm wondering how many of those boys will be leaving at the end of the year? How many are left for first 15 rugby next season?
Yeah, so in the starting lineup, there's only one boy that will be sticking around, and then everybody else is hanging up the boots. Well, leaving school, sorry.
Gonna be hanging up the boots.
Yeah.
Retirement already.
Yeah, so that's Tom Perkins at 4. He's the only boy that's year 12 in the starting lineup. But with us all being year 13s and that playing from a junior level and coming up to now, it makes it easy. And obviously we've got a good team connection and a bit of a brotherhood. So it makes
I'm
it
sure you do, because I know you started in year 11 and you would have had half a dozen teammates from that in this side. So definitely a brotherhood that grew last year and into this year.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. And that's reflecting on probably some of the score lines we're creating. So
I couldn't agree more. This is it's just been a wonderful era of first 15 rugby, and you've enjoyed 3 years of it. So just talking about a couple of some of your teammates, the front row is pretty impressive. Oliver Kirk, Bulldog, I believe you call him.
Yeah,
a lad from Chicago, 2 years in the first 15.
Yep, great guy. He's a bit of the hype man. Brings energy to the team, and he trots around the paddock and does a lot of work behind the scenes. He doesn't score all the tries and then all the glory, but he cleans out the rucks and puts his body on the line more than anyone else in the team.
In that final, he played the whole lady, didn't he? Which is pretty impressive. And then the others, Trotted Hooker scored a hat trick, I believe, in the final, or a brace anyway. And Takapu is a big prop forward.
Yes, he motors along all right, and once he gets the old legs wound up, he's pretty hard to stop. So
what's his nickname in the?
Oh, he doesn't have one yet. The boys will have to make one for him, but
fair enough. Your back row of Salmaki, Taina Thompson, and Brownlee, Cody Brownlee, is it? Kobe Brownlee.
Yeah,
he scored the hat trick. Sorry, in the final. Your hooker got a brace. They're big, mobile.
Yes.
Yeah, you love having them in front of you.
Yeah. All those 3 boys have been in the first 15 for a few years now. And they're weapons. They're very talented. They got speed, they got size, and they got skill all behind them. So they're once again pretty hard to stop, and pretty handy to have them in the team.
Yeah. So your lifters are really good, because your second row certainly wins all of their ball.
Yeah.
Because they're not huge second rows, are they? Young Perkins and Holm, but they certainly get up in the air and secure that first phase ball.
Yeah. Now they're tall bits of timber, and obviously the boys launch him up pretty high for that line out ball, and then we play from there.
Yeah. Mark, I'll talk to you about the back line if you like. Obviously Harry here runs the cutter extremely well, but he gets very good quality ball from the halfback, doesn't he? From young Gibbons.
Oh, absolutely. Oliver, I think he's another one of those energy bundles. He is probably the fittest in the team, I'd say. He's he's unbelievable when he gets around the park. Very reliable, but his pass is just really, really sharp, really flat, and it's perfect for Harry to run off on. So
he gives you some width, doesn't he? You can stand quite wide, which is another good reason why you squaring it up early helps. He has got a nice length on his pass. Yeah,
he does. He's got a bit of grunt behind it, and he can swing it pretty far, which makes it easy for me. Yeah, definitely.
Your centres, West and Fave.
They link together very well, and they were very handy to have outside me, make my job a lot easier. They're very talented boys.
So, and your fullback, of course, Grafton. He had a really good game in the final. Chris, he was outstanding. I thought got a yellow card, unfortunately. But to block the copybook. But his 2 games were enormous. Is he a guy with a big prospect?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, he's very quick off the mark, and very talented, and unfortunate with that yellow card, but he's a bit gutted about that. But he played very well in the quad week, so he's very handy at the back, and runs the ship from back there. So
awesome. And then your wingers, De Beer and Mikey Morrison.
Yeah,
good finishers.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, they're handy to have on the outside, and they've got a lot of talent and a lot of skill, and also a lot of speed. So you give them the ball and see what they can do with it. It's pretty exciting, really.
I think a lot of these names we're going to see playing in provincial rugby.
Definitely.
And Super Rugby.
Yeah.
And there may be a black jersey or 2 in amongst them. But not to forget your bench. Your bench didn't have to play a lot of rugby, but they would come on and do a job when required, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I assume that most of those maybe will be around next year.
Yes. There's a few on the bench that will be sticking around. Yeah.
Okay. Mark, your thoughts on, because quadrangular is really fantastic. You get the old boys together. You've got the 3 teams and all of their entourage. Your thoughts on the week's activities?
It went so fast, but it was awesome week. Just seeing everyone turning up for the games. Obviously, the Wednesday night was the evening with the old boys, and a lot of them really enjoyed that and got amongst it. Bought some in the raffle, spent a bit of money there, so which is good for the old boys going forward. We had just lots of people turning up. Along with the kapahaka that week, actually, it was quite a busy week in Nelson. So it made a really challenging time trying to sort billets for all the boys for 3 nights. So. But it all went really well. Just a great week. Tournament dinner on Tuesday was really good. Had all the teams in the hall, and we had our students actually with Quinton Gately, who has been a referee in the past, overseeing the cooking of all that food with the boys. I can tell you, watching them serve the food at the start, I was a bit worried we're going to be there past midnight, but we
got it out eventually.
They did well eventually, so no, it was awesome, and just seeing all the whole school really just step up and do bits and pieces here that just made for a really special event. The weather did its part in the end, which was good.
Yeah, I assume each captain would have to make a speech, did they, in the dinner?
Yeah. There's a bit off the cuff as well. Yeah, a few speeches over the week. Yeah, not too bad, but tick it off.
From the sound of you, mate, you're going to handle that really well as you go through your career. And Mark, one final thing, you're up 50 points to 35 in the final, and then the ball gets dropped out from the 22, and this young man kicks a field goal from over halfway. Yeah.
It was it's just one of those moments. They happen every now and again, and they're just special. But he, I don't think I think he's been a bit modest or humble about it. But I think he actually lined it up. He took the ball off. I think Jimmy was behind you, ran back and took it out in front of him and just had a go. And I think that's what's special about first 15 rugby. I think.
I thought it was a nice cherry on top of the ice cream.
It certainly was.
Yeah.
Well,
Well
that
done.
was awesome.
So there was more action across the weekend with Waimea Combined and Marlborough Boys.
Yeah, Waimea Combined had a loss, unfortunately, the very narrow one. They went down 31-29 to Christ College, second 15. Marlborough Boys continue to, get some points. They beat St Andrews 35-19 in Christchurch, which I think is a pretty good result. Again, we just say how wonderful it is that we've got 3 college first 15s running around in our region, all of whom are creating potential senior rugby players, provincial rugby players, and higher honours. So, we're going very well with 3 teams in the region.
That's right. Round 7 doesn't stop there; it carries on. So get the celebrations out the way, and it's on to the next round 7.
Yeah. So Waimea Combined are going to host Cashmere Combined. That's at Waimea College Saturday 12 noon. Marlborough Boys are away to Christchurch Boys High School. And then Nelson College, another chance to watch this very, very good rugby team hosting St Thomas of Canterbury this Saturday, 11 a.m. on the front field.
Yep.
Expectations for St Thomas?
I think this is a special team, but and they prepare well and they plan for every game. They watch video of the other teams and they formulate their game plan every week. It's probably no different from what the Mako do. So I think they'll be well ready for this game. Their bodies have had a bit more of a rest, which I'm sure Harry's appreciative of. And I think, but St Thomas will be a big challenge. They are over the last number of years under the tutelage of like Mark Hammett and the crew that they've got down there have put in some really good performances. So it's definitely one to, we want to win, and we want to put ourselves in good stead for home. To hopefully have home semi-final, home final, etc. And who knows what after that. So
well, they are second on the table, Harry. So I assume your preparation is in earnest as we speak.
Yes, definitely. Had a big training Tuesday, and then this coming Thursday is going to be another big game and big training. Sorry, and but they're a talented side, and obviously they've earned that second spot on the table. But it's going to be a top of the table clash, and another good side.
Yeah. So in that training week for a college team, is it like the Mako where you have a bit of fun on early in the week, you then have a good training run Tuesday, Thursday you have a GST, do you game simulation training, do you, or is it another training run?
So our Tuesday's training, we train with the second 15 usually, and then have a few of those younger boys coming up, and then our Thursday training is set for the game on Saturday, and that's pretty full on as well. But our Tuesday's trainings is definitely like our contact training, and get a good run around, and then
okay, and then run through the plan on Thursday.
Okay.
Do you then have a captain's run or a captain's walk around?
Usually at lunchtime on Friday. Go through the captain's run and make it short and sharp.
The preparation is thorough, isn't it, Chris?
Does that mean no one on the front field? On Fridays, is it?
No, sometimes there's been boys on the front field, but of late, just with the rain, we've kept them off as much as we can, just to look after the surface. But it's the boys are all out on the bank and they're watching. Definitely, a lot of the rugby boys like to be around you guys, don't they? So we have no shortage of ball boys, put it that way.
Right.
That's nice. Oh well, good luck for that one. It looks like another big match on the front field, but I'm sure plenty of hometown support. Senior Men's Tasman Trophy, round 14 review. And do you want me to read these?
Yeah, why don't you? Because there's a disappointing result for me in there.
That's right. I don't want them to tear up, Moottree 38 beat Stoke 31.
Yeah,
how's that?
That was a bit of an upset.
So they've had a couple of defaults, Moottree, and
no, be fair.
One was it one? I thought it was 2. Okay, one default, and then they get to take on Stoke at home, and geez, didn't they bounce back?
Yeah, nice for them.
So not too sure what's happening with Stoke because they've had a couple of losses more recently, and either they're a bit short or they're saving themselves perhaps for the top 4.
I think they went with a slightly depleted squad in terms of their numbers and a couple injuries, but they'll be ready for the weekend.
Marist lost to Waimea Old Boys 50-39. So didn't Waimea turn up? So your thoughts on that game, Les?
Well, there was 17-all at half time. So,
Wow.
we were pretty hopeful. But, we knew that they had a very strong bench. It's interesting. The week before we played Kahurangi, who had Willie Havili back from Super Rugby, and he just cut us to bits, 4 touches, 4 magnificent moments. And again on the weekend, it's not an excuse, but, having Mako Springer at fullback for Waimea Old Boys, just a joy to watch. The guy is a talent. And, the centre, Jade Palmer, scored 4 tries against us. And it all basically happened after half time. Their bench was strong, and ours were not so strong. So, congratulations to them. It ended up being a very good win, but a heck of a good game in front of a big crowd at Tuananui Field.
Congratulations to Waimea. Kahurangi, well, pretty comprehensive. I think they're peaking at the right time, aren't they? 71 over Nelson 14.
Yeah. Do you go to a game afterwards, after your college game, and have a look at a first grade game?
Yeah, usually most of the boys try and get along and watch a bit of Div 1 footy.
Yeah. Any favourite clubs or?
Oh, nah.
He's got to be careful here.
Yeah, I do.
Have a favourite player, wouldn't it be Greg Foy?
Oh, yeah.
Nelson
Marginal. Yeah.
Okay,
so there's your comp table after the final round robin.
That's right. Kahurangi tops it on 52, followed by Central not far behind, both peaking probably at the right time. They both had some big wins recently. Stoke hanging in there. They're doing it, and either they're a few players short or they're playing a very smart game and saving a few for the semis. And the Wobbers, what a comeback they've had. A rally over the off-season and then coming to make the semis this season. So congratulations to them. And Maris not too far behind. A bit more work to do in the off-season, Les.
Yeah, I think so.
Bit of recruitment perhaps, and then also Muteri and Nelson making up the rest. So the semi-finals 2:30, presumably on Saturday. Les, is that right?
Earlier start at 2:30, everyone. So don't get caught out.
Geez, and look at these lines up. This fantastic games: Kahurangi versus Waimea Old Boys at Cook's Reserve. And just very quickly around the table, boys. You'll have to call this one.
Oh, I'd say Kahurangi will pip them, but I think it'll be a tight game. It'll be a big challenge, that one.
Yeah, I'd have to say up the Rangi as well.
Up the rank. Oh, see, there's a little bit of you can tell whether his roots are there. Yep.
Country lad, aren't you, Harry?
That's right. Les, who you picking?
Oh, look, I'll go Kahurangi at home.
Yeah, but
I'm hoping it's their year. I really am. They've been building for this for a decade, and I really hope it's their year.
For the way Waimea have been going, you just never know, do you?
Correct.
And another big one, Central versus Stoke at Lansdowne. Was that the match last year? I can't remember. Was that the semi last year? Stoke go over.
Oh, you've got me.
I think it might have been
too far away.
I think it might have been. But anyway,
what I had for breakfast.
Central versus Stoke at Lansdowne Park. So what are we calling there?
Oh, I think a home ground advantage for Central there, and they were last year's champions, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that'd be tough. That'd be a tough game. Yeah. So Central.
Yeah, I'd have to stick to the Nelson Club and go Stoke.
Oh,
good
patriot.
Yeah,
good man. Well done.
And I'll side with Mark purely on home ground advantage, and a very, very good outfit is Central. So especially at this time of the year. So there you go. The majority of us predicting a Kahurangi Central grand final.
I'd say so. It's going to be a repeat, but who will take it out? We'll talk about that in a couple of weeks, Les. We'll talk about that later. But senior women's Tasman Trophy, round 9, and how did it go on the weekend?
Yeah, well, a tough win for Marist over Waimea Old Boys 15-10 on Matariki Thursday night. And then on Sunday, Moteri at home beat Kahurangi 47-19, which was a massive shock to me, which catapulted them from 4th spot into 2nd on the table. So they've gone. They're going to be hosting Kahurangi again at Awarua Park Saturday 1:15 in a playoff semi-final. Marist have gone, being number 1 on the table, have gone straight to the final. So they await the winner of Motori versus Kaharangi.
So that's interesting because, Kahurangi have been pretty competitive. But, that trip over the hill, it does test numbers, and if people have to work or they're away or they can't make the trip, and now Kahurangi have to pick themselves up and repeat that. So that's a tough challenge for them, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is.
So there you go. We always like to highlight a couple of rural games. Senior Men Division 2. What have you got lined up this week?
Well, last week we were the Battle of the Bridge.
Yes.
Huia 46 just outplayed Rewalker 0, which is, again, a surprising result given how Rewalker have gone in Senior B rugby for the last couple of years. So massive win to Huia. I think this week, obviously Wanderers v Huia at Brightwater Domain is a good game to get to. That's 3 versus 2, and Wanderers being a pitch, Brightwater Domain being a pitch well, Harry, having played your junior rugby there.
Yeah, great club there, and I'll be heading along, and I'm in blue and gold.
You're a good man. I'm starting to like this guy very much. He's very good. Marlborough, round 9 match of the last week. We highlighted Waitohi playing Central. Waitohi 61 beat Central 3, which is a huge result. And must have been something going on over there. This week, I just want to highlight a game between the bottom 2 teams. So get out to Havelock Domain and have a look at Pelorus playing Harlequin.
Yeah, great stuff. Okay, internationals, and we've got international under-20s happening at the moment, Les, and some great games, and New Zealand being able to beat Wales 41-34, but they didn't really have it all their own way, did they? Wales put up a pretty good fight.
Wales put on 14 points in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, a bit of a comeback, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. But, Mark and I would be very proud of New Zealand. We both had a player in there. So Matt Lowe started at number 7 from the Nelson Club, and Cooper Grant from Marist came on in the second half. So, great to watch our local lads running around in this competition.
And then New Zealand, geez, another tough one. They're taking on France this Friday.
Yeah, Friday morning early. Set your alarms. But, it will be an interesting matchup. France are, I think, defending champions in under-20s.
Yeah.
So they are, Mark?
You remember that really, really, really big lock?
That's right.
Prop or something.
Yeah, they've got big boys in this age group. So that'll be one to watch. And then we got the test match.
I know that just kind of snuck up. I knew it was July, and all of a sudden it's test week.
Yeah,
and all the talk and all the hype, and poor Razor. I mean, there's so many articles and documentaries about who he is. It's like the new hope, and but he's got a tough task ahead of him. So New Zealand taking on England Saturday at 7:05. Thoughts on the game, Mark?
Well, we haven't seen the team yet, have we? So
no.
I think the most excitement at this moment is that who's going to be starting. So I've actually got the junior rugby class boys to do their predictions, and there's a prize for the boys that get the closest. So I think it's exciting. It's just a new era. We'll see some new players, which is awesome. And then it's really is an unknown. We're heading into a new era, and it's just exciting. So
probably the main discussion points is who will be fullback. So who's going to be fullback?
Oh, that's a really tough one. I don't know. I feel like they might go with Bowden with a bit of experience, and Damien McKenzie at first 5 is my feeling. But who knows? Stephen Perifet is available as well. So there's a real
It's going to be interesting. Harrison, what are your thoughts? Fullback and first 5.
Yeah, I reckon I agree with Mark, to be honest. Yeah, I reckon they'll have Bodie at 10. Is that what you said?
No,
other way around. Yeah, D-Mac at 10, and then a bit of experience in the backfield with Bowden Barrett lurking around out there. So
Parafighter at 22.
Yeah.
In the reserves. Yeah, I'm with them.
Okay, who's number 6? Does Ethan get a run, or is it's going to be for now?
Yeah, I think it'll be for now. Look, I just want to back up something Mark said. or you said the hype around Rosa. I mean, God, talk about setting up a man to fail.
I know.
It's just insane. Every day there's another article. But hey, he's got good management, good squad of fellow coaches. He's a level-headed guy. I'm looking forward to it very much. It is a new era.
Halfback.
It's Christie for me. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go. All right, pick
Mako.
that game then. I mean, my wish is I hope Perafita gets fullback.
Okay.
I think they will go with Bodie because they want some stability. But I just don't want to see that Barrett combination again doing the up and unders and the kicks all the time. He is good under the high ball and what have you, but I think Stephen Perafita's had a good, when he did come back from injury and those kind of things, he has had a pretty good season. He's got a lot of talent. We'll have our wing. It'll be interesting on the wings, won't it? Mark Tillier or who else could it be? Sevu Reece maybe
the other side,
on form.
I think,
So that'll be interesting. But of course, it could be Bodie at 10 and Damien McKenzie at fullback. So that's going to be interesting as well. I do hope Matt gets an opportunity there, and I hope Stephen Perafita comes number 15, and then Bodie can come in and save the day if he has to. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Okay, so let's Japan versus New Zealand Māori. Good win by New Zealand Māori against that Japan 15. Will Eddie Jones load up that Japanese 15?
Yes, he will. Yeah, that was the development side. Now he'll play close to a test team against the Māori.
And how's this? This will be a good game. I mean, this is the first hit out with the new coach, with Joe coaching Australia. But Wales, actually, I didn't think were too bad against South Africa. Obviously, South Africa showing their class, but going to be a close match, this one. Who are we picking here?
I'd say Australia. The Wales haven't been performing for a while now, so I think Australia's, and again, another new era and a new coach, and there will be expectations, and I think at home they'll perform. So
Wales, a young side. I just thought at times, especially as they grew into the game, they managed to get reasonably close to South Africa at one point, but then South Africa showing its class. South Africa and Ireland, man, what a game this is going to be. Been quite a lot of hype with the coach, getting claimed to the media that he doesn't like Ireland. So,
look, I think it's a fantastic game. It's on Sunday at 3 a.m, so I might have to watch that on tape delay, but it'd be well worth watching. And South Africa, as they do, have named their team early. It's an experienced team that we know all the names of. So I think at home they should get away with that one.
And I just did wonder, Harrison, whether Tony Brown had been on the phone to you, because in that Wales game there was a penalty from 55 metres out. So he didn't get on the phone and say, mate, if you're 50 out, give it a go.
Yeah, no, didn't hear any phone calls from him.
Argentina versus France. This would be another good game, actually. But France would be pretty dominant, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I'd say so. They'll be pretty strong. Yeah.
You're with the Mako Rugby Roundup. It's our pleasure to welcome Mark Cochrane and Harry Inch from Nelson College to the podcast. And Mark, you grew up in South Canterbury. So can you tell us a little bit about the rugby history and your junior career, I guess?
Yeah, so I grew up on a farm just outside of Waimiri, which is South Timaru there. Mum forced my brother and I to play hockey for a season. There was about 30 kids on the field with one ball, and it was a nightmare. So we begged to go and play rugby. So we turned up the next year for Waimiri Rugby Club. I think at that time, Waimiri had 3 rugby teams, like Huia, Southern and St. Pat's. I played for Southern. Of course, Mum was hoping that we wouldn't play rugby going forward, but so she never bought me a rugby jersey. So I had to use like a blue sweatshirt or something for a whole season. So that was a bit of I've got photos of it. It's a bit terrible, but it was back in the day where you just brought your boots along and picked them off a new pair off the bench and sized them up. They went up halfway up your ankle or more. And you had to nugget them with all of that stuff. So yeah, great.
All that generation, of having to wear your boots in.
Yeah, you had, definitely. It was a different era, but it was great. Waimiri, I loved it being down there. Obviously a country boy with with a lot of my family around that area. There came a time, I think it was the start of year 12 where I started. I thought I need to go somewhere else. Dad wanted to send me to Otago Boys. So that would have been in 97, 98 if I'd gone there. So same year Richie McCall would have went to boarding then.
Right.
I did not want to go boarding, either did my brother. So so then Christchurch Boys was an option as well. But we decided that we finally got our driver's license and went to Timaru Boys. So Timaru Boys had just come off a couple of years where they had very strong sides. They had a couple of five-field boys that and a few others actually that made South Island schoolboys and New Zealand schools. So they went to the top 4 as well. So it was an obvious choice for me. And I had some people I knew there. So I went up to Timaru Boys, which was really good. But the it was a really I don't know, just South Canterbury. I played all the way from I think it was under 11 reps all the way up to I played in 2003 for South Canterbury as well. In the NPC. So I played every single grade. Sometimes some years haven't gone so well, some went really well. I think under 16s made the South Island final against against Canterbury. A certain Aaron Major hammered us.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think it was 51-3, I think it was the final score. So that wasn't so good. But one of my favourite memories, obviously working at Tasmanian Rugby Union for a while, was that in 1997 I played for South Canterbury under 18s and we played at Denton Park in Christchurch. And I never let this fella live it down, but we'd heard about this I don't know, this epic rugby player coming down from Nelson, playing for Seddon, I think it was, in Alfred Bays, called Kahu Mafel. And
we know that name well, don't we?
We do.
So our team, South Canterbury, a bit of a, I don't know, we just came in, somehow we just got up for one game and knocked them over. So they were defending champs and sent them down to where they should be, I think. I can't say there was anything.
And now you bump into him regularly, is that right? So
all the time.
So he just walks around you if you come close.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Avoids me at all costs. No, it was great. It was just a really good place to grow up and a proper New Zealand country upbringing. And I think, you learn good country values, much like Harrison here growing in the country as well. So it was awesome just to grow up. And I think I wasn't allowed to go to rugby until we fed the pigs in the morning. So there was an hour and a half in the cold, wet, rain, whatever it was. So snow, we had to get out there. So it was just a humble upbringing, I guess. And
so eventually it led you to some time in Japan where you worked, but you actually played rugby in Japan as well.
Yeah, I didn't go there for rugby though. I went to Christchurch for university and I played for high school boys there. And I had 1 year I'd have a great year, and the next year I'd dislocate my shoulder and have an operation. The next year I'd play a grade again, and then I'd break my leg. So it was like that. It just went up and down. I did have some really awesome opportunities. Like we played, I think through those early 2000s, high school boys were a really, really good team. We won the Christchurch competition a few times, and the Colts year was really good playing down there. So played with Andrew Mertens for a season.
Oh, wow, that would have been awesome.
I think he was out of favour for the All Blacks, and maybe they said he was a little bit too fat. So there's a warning, Harry, if you ever make it.
That's right.
But that was just a really awesome, as a young fellow, it was a great experience to be.
So where did they put you on the park? Where did you mainly play?
I was a 6, sometimes 8, sometimes lock. So just in and around there. I probably wasn't tall enough to be an out-and-out lock, and I wasn't I was only about 105 kg, so I wasn't really out and out number 8 either all the time. So I was quite versatile. But it was it was awesome. Like the experiences down there were great, but just the injuries just got a little bit too much in the way. So in 2005, I ended up. My wife and I decided, we were looking for jobs, but we decided we'd go on something called the JET program. Japanese Exchange and Teaching Program. So we headed off. Took about 9 months actually to get accepted and placed and all the rest of it. We went across in about August or end of July that year, and we went to a place called Saga in Japan. So Saga was basically flat with a whole bunch of rice paddy fields everywhere. Not a lot of rugby. There was about four clubs. One of them was a university there. But I was lucky enough, I met this American guy somehow. From Texas. He was a proper Texan who chewed like the tobacco stuff and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, he dragged me along to a rugby club, and it was called the Japan Journalist Rugby Club. So and from that, it was awesome actually. It allowed me to like step outside of like the foreigners that were in Japan and to actually be immersed basically with a whole bunch of guys who just absolutely love rugby.
And a Texan playing rugby.
Oh yeah, I don't know if he could play rugby, but he was he was on the field. But he was a great guy, good talker, and it's just some of those characters you meet. But it connected me with a whole bunch of guys who I'm still friends with today. So,
but mainly Japanese guys.
All Japanese. So sometimes awesome. I'm glad that Google Translate exists now because I can actually say proper conversations with them now. But I've been back and seen them maybe 3 times now. But once was during the 2019 World Cup when we saw our friends again, and we went down to a game in Kumamoto. It was the Tonga versus France game, I think it was. Had a French guy with a looked like a dead, basically everything but the meat of a chicken on a stick and holding it there. I don't know if it was some sort of voodoo thing or something, but it was.
So it wasn't rubber chicken. It was definitely.
No, it wasn't a rubber chicken. It was definitely feathered.
Oh, amazing and fantastic food there too.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's probably I think everyone thinks sushi and I don't know, udon, yeah. But there's just so many more food that they have, and shabu shabu is probably I could highly recommend. It's just one of the most best meals ever. So
tell us about then the decision to come to Nelson, and it says what attracted you to the Nelson Club. So did you actually get involved in the local Nelson Rugby Club? Did you?
So I had to fast forward a few years because we went to the UK for three and a bit years there, but we came back to Nelson because I think it was time. But it definitely was a discussion, but it was time to come back, and we were pregnant with our first son Emmett, so came back to Nelson because that's where my wife is from. So she grew up in just Annesbury.
Jeez, how many blokes do we have in this region that arrive here because they're good ladies?
Peter Bar.
They're good ladies from here. They drag them home.
Yeah. So my father-in-law actually played for Stoke Rugby Club way back in the day when the club rooms were just down the road here. So I did actually play when I first came back 2011. I think there was a tournament out in Stoke, out at Waimea with the Jubilee Park, I think.
Oh yes, yeah.
And I played sevens for Stoke and realised that I was not very good at sevens at that age. I think I was in early 30s. So but yeah, came back here looking for jobs all over the place. But my first job was actually at Nayland College, so just down the road here.
Right.
So and I've worked twice there and had connection with Stoke Rugby quite a bit through that time. Came back for that. Great place to live though. I think when I was 15 I came up for a holiday here and I thought one day I'd love to live in Nelson. It looks like a great place, and it's amazing. Just sunny even through the winter. You get 16-degree days and you're walking around in a t-shirt coaching rugby on the field. It's pretty awesome.
You mentioned that you had a role at the Tasman Rugby Union, so tell us about that role.
Yeah, so I was at Nayland College at the time. I think the job opportunity came up to be a rugby development officer, and I thought I just needed a change of tact. I think something new. So I applied for that. I ended up having 2 interviews, unusually. So I got interviewed first time, and I think they brought me back just to check if I was actually serious, because I was leaving a school, I guess. But so I'm coming from a teaching background. I'm a PE teacher by trade, but the opportunity was just to be immersed in rugby and actually just develop those skills was really good. I spent 4 years there. I worked with Les as well. So through that time, it was amazing. Like
who was CEO?
Tony.
It was Tony.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, the whole time. So so we it was great. It was just it was that whole big balance of like being out with kids, running tournaments or coaching them, as well as coaching coaches. So a big part of my role was actually working alongside coaches as well, running all that.
And reunited with Kahu Mafu as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's your boss, right?
Every time we go down the hallway.
Yeah. So we Kahu and I think we get on really well. We definitely have our disagreements sometimes, but we have great banter as well. So he's a good fella. So playing for Nelson Club, that was more. I think I got begged to play for Nelson College, and that was Griggy. So Peter Grigg at Nelson College. I was working with him at the time there, so I worked in the hostel at Rutherford House for about 3.5 years actually, and I did a bit of teaching and sports coordinating at the school for a while. Yeah, and Griggy was short. I don't know if Nelson's ever had a bench, but I think I was probably number 16 on the bench or 17 maybe. So we spent a whole season. I think it was the same year Marist didn't have a team. So Liam Squire came and played, but we had Andrew Goodman and Mitchell Scott. There was a whole James Lash was running the cutter.
Right.
There was Shane Christie was there. So yeah, it was a good team. There wasn't a lot of reserves for that year.
Right.
Yeah. I think Greggy just sort of dragged me out of school and said, "Get fit and play. We need you." So yeah. So yeah, that was it.
So you ended up at Nelson College, and you point out not master of rugby, you master in charge of rugby, but I'm sure the traditional term is master of rugby. So there's no one else at the top there. So you'll have to claim that master of rugby at Nelson College. So tell us about what does that entail?
So my job, so it's a bit of a mixture of jobs. So I'm a teacher. Yeah. Right, so we have a junior and a senior rugby class that we teach during the week, which involves having a teacher overseeing that class. Of course, we've got Jono Phillips and Greg Foy working alongside us, so which is great. We have I also have a role as a assistant sports coordinator, so I help Alethea Stove doing that. And that involves the lunchtime house sport competition, which is pretty big at Nelson College, and there's a lot of rivalry there. Yeah. And then I involved with everything from doing prize givings to everything else that we do in sport, school exchanges, etc. But then another part of my role is I'm just trying to think. I do a little bit of PE teaching as well. On top of that, and just running all of the rugby clubs. So our rugby program at the moment we have is it 9 teams running? So first 15, 3 under 14s, 3 15s, 3 17s, and we also have our under 14A, 15A, 16A, and 17, so 14 teams total.
That's a big club.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's a good role.
And what amazes me is now they have a class at college called rugby. I wish we had that at school. We were going there. No, what gets taught in a class at rugby?
Yeah, so
surely it's just not just about the game. Would be other things as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so we a lot of it is about actually we're sort of taking kids from like junior rugby,
yes,
and then adding that sort of structure. So teaching them all a lot around skill work, fitness. We talk about nutrition. We get groups in for like whether it's Drug Sport NZ to talk about the drug side of things, for athletes, and how that can affect your future and stuff. We also have occasionally have guest speakers come in. So whether it's an ex-rugby player or something that might come and talk to them. There's the whole variety of stuff. And
would there be some talk about the mental side of the game? Because that's a big part of I mean, there's talk about concussion these days, but also there's more awareness, I guess, of mental well-being as well. So does that get talked about?
Yeah, so definitely does, but we also have, it's more of like a mentoring program. So with our coaches and our and us as teachers is a more wraparound. So you've got the whole school as well, and there's a people within the school that look after. So if a boy is in some sort of distress or whatever, there's a person they can go to talk, to deal with that side of things. It is it's not just about their performance on the field. We've got to look after the boy off the field as well, which is a big part of rugby now, preparing them for the future. We also have things like with our sponsors is job opportunities for boys to go and experience jobs, so they get job placements to try things out. A lot of them, obviously, a lot of the boys want to be a professional rugby player in the future, but statistically, in reality, is that a lot won't. So they've got to have another pathway that they can go to if need be. So
Outside of rugby, Harrison, what's on the radar?
Probably something in the farming industry.
Farming? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But rugby classes, how many periods in a week?
4.
Yeah, so they're still doing their math and science and English and everything else. So I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
There are there are credits towards.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Getting a a proper education.
I mean, that would have been the only class you would have taken back in that day, wouldn't it, Les?
Well, it certainly would have been something that you'd like to do if you were good enough. Harry, I want to talk to you. So, where did you play your junior rugby growing up?
Yeah, so I'm born and bred out Brightwater, so obviously the local club Wanderers, great club, great people, and I'll be watching them this Saturday against Huia, and a bit of a shout out to a few young boys. There's Nathan Downey, Alex Thompson, and Hamish Jolly, and older brother Trent Hinch. They chip along out there, and they're going really well this season. So yeah, it's always good watching them in the afternoon after a first 15 game, and yeah, sums up the Saturday quite nicely.
Yeah, and some of the people who coached you
out at Wanderers.
Yeah. Anyone we'd know?
My old man did a bit, but yeah.
That'd be Nathan Hinch.
Yeah.
No, Wanderers is a great club.
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
doubt about that. I've been out to JOB days and club days. Very, very, very good club. And Diane Rogamola, who runs the club rooms, if you like, with an iron fist, and Jimmy Vander Kolk, who's your current general manager, all good people, and not just rugby.
It's a great club. It's a bit of a pity we don't have one team, but I'm sure we'll sort something out in the future.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing a whisper that maybe there is an opportunity to reintroduce a Division 1 team. I certainly hope so. What year did you join rugby class?
That was in under 14, so 2021. Yeah, so under 14s and 15s. Really enjoyed those days at college. Playing footy, just the culture and playing with your mates, and it's just a good time.
And did you learn anything in those 4 periods of rugby class?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. Nah, it was a good time. Like I said, just playing with your mates, and we did learn a lot of skills in nutrition and that carry on, and it was good. Yeah,
and the mental strength training, anything in there that you draw on even now running a first 15 backline?
Yeah, we probably didn't take in much back then, but certainly now we definitely take those things in. First 15, there's a bit of pressure that comes with it, but we soak it up, and there's skills in that we can take into the game, and
excellent. So Jono Phillips. Now, this man has been a big success and a driver of the success in Nelson College for last 5-6 years?
5 or 6 years,
yeah. So he must have played a big role in the development of your rugby IQ, Harry.
Yeah. He's really flipped the whole rugby and the rugby program around at Nelson College for the better. He came in 2019, and the stats really show. We've won a lot with him, and he's a great guy, and he's a great mentor for a lot of us boys, and the knowledge he has on the game is just unreal, and we're really lucky to have him at the school.
Yeah, so he's actually teaching you the technical side of the game. Is he also very good at being a people person?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, he's a great bloke to have a yarn with off the field as well as about the game.
Yeah, I've talked to Jono, of course, on the sidelines at various stages. Very, very mild-mannered, I would say, in terms of very calm. Is he a very calm guy? What happens when things don't go right? So,
no, like you said, he's a very calm bloke. At halftime with the game on Thursday against Christ College, when it's neck and neck, he's very calm, and then that obviously feeds onto us. So, and we just carried on.
Yeah, because you were actually behind, weren't you, at halftime in the final? And so a calm voice rather than a screaming voice is always easier to deal with, isn't it, as a player? Who else on the coaching staff is shaping your game?
We've got quite a big coaching staff. We've got Greg doing the defense. He's always he joins in with the trainings actually and gives us a bit of a rev up and jumps on a pad and runs us around. And then we've got Marty, the backs coach. He's a great bloke, as well as Mike Fraser doing the forward. So we're really lucky to have those three, and Jono as well. So once again, their rugby IQ is crazy, and we're lucky to have them at the school, and they're great people outside of rugby as well.
So Marty O'Kane is your attack coach?
Backs coach.
Backs coach?
Yeah.
which is both attack and defence.
Yeah.
So you work with him very closely, I assume.
Yeah. Obviously being a back, me and Marty are pretty tight. Yeah.
You would be. What are the remaining goals for the team this season?
Stay on top, and obviously so far with the season we've been going all right, so we'll just keep ticking off the last few games for the season, then hopefully secure a home semi-final. That will be the main goal, and then go from there really. But yeah, it's obviously pretty brutal. We have to just keep winning and stay on the front foot.
Yeah. So keeping your mind on the job, one game at a time, as the old cliche says.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we've got St Thomas this weekend, obviously, so there'll be a big game to tick that off, and then we've got Timaru and Stack to go, and
Is it part of your role as captain to make sure that the boys don't get ahead of themselves? Is that part of your leadership that you make sure that that's happening?
Yeah. All the boys are pretty switched on, and they're pretty humble guys, so we don't get too far ahead of ourselves, but yeah, it's something you have to watch out for.
Yeah, well done. And what are your plans for 2025? So you graduate this year. What are you going to do?
So I haven't really made my mind up yet. I might stick around here up in Nelson or head down to Christchurch possibly. Got a few rallies down there and older brothers down there at the moment, but haven't said anything in stone yet.
So if you stayed in Nelson, that would be farming and rugby.
Yeah.
And hopefully a Mako gig at some point in your career.
Yeah, something like that.
Would you like to play for Tasman?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
With the contract.
That's
exactly.
right.
If only someone was here.
Yeah.
But that's fabulous to hear. Yeah. Do you go and watch the Mako on a regular basis?
Yeah. Enjoy watching the Mako and the boys that play in that team. We all look up towards them, and
And I guess a few of them would come and see you at training. And
well, quite a lot of them are old boys as well, so it makes it special as well. So
yeah, no, that's great.
Harry, we're told that you're an avid collector of rugby jerseys from the past, especially the 80s and the 90s from Nelson Bays and West Coast. So where did this come from?
Yeah, that'd be right. So first started probably when I was around about 10 years old, and just digging in Dad's old wardrobe and found his first 15 jersey, and he used to have about half a dozen old league jerseys with the 3/4 sleeves, and then as I grew into them, Dad grew out of them, so it kind of went from there really.
And so you're revitalizing the fashion, is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
So what is the most cherished jersey and why?
Well, that'd be hard to pinpoint one, but love the Nelson Bays jerseys. I've got a few of them from all around the show, and then also a few of the West Coast jerseys and Butler as well. So to pinpoint one would be pretty hard, but those three would be my favorite.
Are you missing any jersey in particular from the collection? You got to get your hands on one?
Yeah, there's a few. Ideally, I'd try and get a Nelson Bays jersey from around the 2000 to 2005 era. The old Adidas, the cotton jerseys, and big NPC patch. I reckon you can't miss them. But
right.
I have got one, a signed one by the team. But to get a player's jersey would be pretty.
All right, shout out. So if you've got a jersey from that era,
so
Harry's interested.
Yeah, so that triggers my mind. Kahu Marfell is one of the biggest hoarders of rugby stuff ever. We've got to get you up into the Middle Earth so you can have a look at what he's
but
got.
Don't take Mark with you.
No, he has actually given me a few jerseys.
Oh, that's awesome.
Added to the collection, including that Nelson Bays signed jersey. So
well done, Kahu. It's an interesting hobby to have, though. Mate.
Yeah, no, I love them, and occasionally I pull out the old sewing machine and repair them, and love wearing them and that. So just preserving them for the future as well.
Nice.
So,
Yes,
very, very, very cool. Mark, this year the Nelson Bays Council of Delegates made a decision for under 14, under 15 age grade rugby to be played in two windows. A club window at the beginning of the year, so players could maintain their links to their clubs, and then a schools window. So with your college hat on, has that been a success, especially for the under-15s this year, which is the first year we've tried it?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, it's been a success for both the club and schools. From our point of view, like the boys want to play for their school because it's a new start for them coming to college. So to miss that last year was a bit disappointing for the boys that are now year 10. But it's been a really buzz this year for them to actually a big buzz for them to now be playing in a school jersey. Has there been challenges? Probably, yeah. There's some challenges. One of them, particularly for me, is having to trial them in that sort of, I guess, June space when they're already playing club rugby. But it's been, the boys are pretty excited to be playing with new kids and with people that you've constantly been playing against. Much like Harry said, like they become sort of a new entity in a way, playing for Nelson College, and they make a lot of new friends. Boys that they've always played against become now their mates. So it has been manageable for you as a master in charge of rugby at the college to have the boys playing for their clubs in term 2, and then coming to you basically in term 3. Yeah, absolutely. We have our junior rugby class, so the boys that are under 15s are with us right from the start of the year.
Yes.
So we get to know them early on, which is cool. Probably we have no control over what happens in the club stuff, but there was definitely a few injuries, so it affected our classes, I guess, in terms of boys sitting on the side with Knox. But in terms of like playing for their clubs, like the boys really enjoyed it. So I think it's definitely been a positive in terms of like that connection with club and playing early in the season on good grounds and playing in front of the senior Bs or senior A teams has been cool.
Yeah.
Them joining, probably me personally, it's made my life very busy, particularly with quad this year. Like I'm in this sort of term 2 window, which is trialing teams, getting coaches sorted, getting while they're also playing for their clubs. So but it's worked out well. And I think it's definitely made a change that I think is something we can move forward with. So
that's great, because it's certainly beneficial to the clubs to keep those linkages to the lads and girls who go through our clubs. Any improvements that you would make for 2025, do you think?
Yeah, it's we haven't had a chance to review it because we're only 4 weeks into it. This will be week 4, this one, or week 5 maybe. But I think a couple of comments was probably around having a little bit of a break in between the club and the school season, and that's just for coaches to sort of meet their teams and get used to, get to know the boys.
True. Get a bit of training together, build a bit of culture before you get into the games themselves.
I was thinking I can't affect this, but King's birthday and Matariki weekend together would be awesome.
Well, we would all like that.
Yeah, why can't we have them both?
Yeah, we'll just lobby.
We'll have 2 very long weekends.
We'll put a document together.
Yeah. We might have to talk to the government. So.
That's right.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mark. Master in charge of rugby at Nelson College. Great history at Nelson College, and it's fantastic that there's so much support for the boys there. And geez, aren't they doing some great things at the moment? And may it long continue, but good luck with the development and the rugby class.
Yeah.
Geez, I might have to do an ad. Do you take adult students? I suppose you have to be good at rugby, don't you? And Harry, great to meet you, mate. And what a fantastic season you've been having so far, and you're on a roll. And so we wish you all the best for future for the rest of the season.
Cheers.
And of course, 2025, who knows?
Yeah.
Let's hope we can keep you in the region.
Yeah.
And I too want to thank you, Harry. Really nice to have you, have a student and the captain on the show. It's a first for us. Really cool to get your insights and have a chat.
No, cheers. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Les. And it's the end of the season for you, although you've got some administration stuff, I'm sure, to do at Marist, but you're going to take a couple of weeks off.
Yes, I am going to take some time off, take my wife to Australia to meet my eldest daughter. We're taking my youngest daughter as well. So
Nice.
a family holiday on the Gold Coast will be really what I need for these winter.
So Les is our research man. So we have to leave it for a couple of weeks until Les is back. We need his knowledge and have a great trip, and thank you very much, and good luck to the semi-finalists and of course the finalists, and we'll be able to do a recap of that. And then it doesn't stop there, because we've got more international rugby, and of course the Mako season is on our doorstep. So we're really looking forward to that. Thank you very much. Thank you to our listeners. You can catch this podcast on talknelson.co.nz, also on Spotify, MBS Talk Nelson, and on our social media channels. Thanks to Stan and the team at the Turf, and we'll catch you again next week.
The Mako Rugby Roundup. What's on, where, and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. NBS Talk Nelson.